Welcome back to the Insider Outsider podcast, guys. Me and my boy Ahmed, Forbes top here, like what, third richest person in the world right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, crypto wallet's looking real good right now.
Why
But
not?
yeah, but yeah, guys.
Why not?
So welcome back to it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna talk about business. We're gonna talk about mortgages. We're gonna talk about should you buy a house, should you not buy a house. We're gonna talk about everything. So Ahmed, how's your week going, man? How you think about the stock market? It actually performed pretty decent today. Stock market rebounded a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. Even like within the housing market, I saw in Calgary the houses kind of went back up, and I feel like a reflection of the entire market's just positive right now. Whether assets wise, they're going up.
Yeah, and why do you think this changes? It changes occurring. So why do you think right now is the time?
We went through a little bit of a dip, and I think it's a natural, uh, you know,
Yeah, today, by
rebound.
the way, we're up currently 1.38%
Mhm.
on the total S&P 500 stock market. So majority of stocks are up today. It's looking pretty solid. It looks like there's a little bit of rebound system. I think this is all being funneled because of good news. Not sure if Ahmed you were looking into it, but it looks like there might be a resolution to the government shutdown because it's almost past 40 days now, and then it looks like
I didn't hear.
it looks like a bunch of senators from the other opposition parties are joining Trump, just saying, okay, let's pull forth the deal and kind of like wait on it until after December or after Christmas. So I
Yeah,
believe they will. In if I was a betting man, I would bet that this week the shutdown will stop, will go get off, and then the government will be back on, which means it's a huge pump. And if you
that's very
remember,
positive.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
remember, me and you had a whole conversation about this. Pretty much, I think it was a day or two ago. We were talking about what do you think about the stock market, and I was yeah, my idea is when the economy does better. Now, here's the portion. There's two issues with this. If the stock market, if the government shutdown closes and the jobs report's decent, which means that not too many jobs are lost, because I do think we're going to lose jobs, replaced
Mm.
with AI and all this stuff, then you're going to see that stock market go flying up. But I think if you see too many jobs shut down, because remember, those reports are on pause. So we don't know what last month's numbers are. We don't know what the actual numbers are for this month either. So we're all
Yeah,
guessing blind, right? And so blind is you could shoot a bullet anywhere, but there's a chance you're going to hit yourself.
the probability. Yeah,
Yeah,
you hit
exactly. There's a
yourself. I like
probability.
that. That's a cool analogy. You hit yourself. Yeah, you definitely can. Cause harm to yourself in that context. That's a cool analogy.
Yeah,
One of the things
I didn't think that analogy through, to be honest. I'm glad it worked out. But
we did, it was good. It
yeah,
was good. I liked it.
But yeah, man, I'm very happy to be talking to you again. Obviously, I truly feel like this is the most educated part of my entire day because you have to defend your ideas, and
Arguments. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a big problem with friends. Okay, I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a friend like Ahmed, go get a friend like Ahmed, man, because you need somebody to question. You need somebody to ask stupid questions and good questions, because sometimes the stupid questions, if I can't give them an answer. Ahmed's not stupid. This guy doesn't take a single answer. I gotta be like, oh man, why can't he just say, oh okay, move on to the next subject? You gotta keep going with it. And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, man, I guess I never thought of it this way. And yeah, man, but this is the most educated part of my day. So I hope the viewers here, we passed 100 views on one of our episodes. We're at 120. So, I hope the viewers actually enjoy this and, enjoy this conversation, because that's all it is at the end of the day. But it is a little bit of a debate. And then, but it's a debate to change ideologies. It's no, oh, I'm right or you're wrong. We just go by what we think is going to happen. So, yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen with the stock market. Now, if it goes down, I will be buying, because like I mentioned, it's only if right now is the worst that it can be. Obviously, it can be way worse, but if right now is going to be relatively near the bottom, where before you start seeing, because the thing that I'm bullish on, and I'll get this analogy from you, is there's a lot of money that's being said to have transferred into the USA with all these companies, Japan investing, Canada
Oh yeah,
invest, well, not Canada, but like the UK investing.
United Arab
Yeah,
Emirates.
yeah,
I think.
exactly.
Yeah,
All
is
these
that how much?
companies, a lot of
Is
money,
that
a lot of
trillion?
money. Yeah, trillions,
Yeah,
trillions. And so
trillions.
he's made deals, and like again, this is what I always say. I said you can't judge the man based on what they say or what they do. You have to judge what they do,
There's
right?
no, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Planned or not.
Yeah, but these amounts of money were never disclosed on how they're going to be spent. I heard some obviously that they're buying military grade weaponry, stuff like that. Even South Korea said the same thing. But I want to see how exactly is it going to be effective, because putting $1 trillion into any economy, if you did that into Canada, that's 1/3 of our entire GDP. But if you put that into anywhere, you're going to get a very sizable result, even in the USA, right? So I feel like if these companies really do invest, which again they sign treaties for, so it looks like they will be investing. If they do, I see a huge boom happening in the USA because I feel like jobs will be plentiful, and not just regular jobs, right? We're talking about high end jobs, and I see that, man. And but yeah, that's my theory on it. What do you think about it?
Um, See, I like what Ravinder mentioned earlier. I don't mean to be disagreeing all the time, but I think metal sharpens metal.
Yeah, but it
So
scratches it
you
definitely.
need to find you need to find a buddy like Rav and continually synthesize better and better theses. And so one of the things I think is that sometimes those economic benefits don't always translate over to jobs.
Hmm.
And one of the things I noticed as recently, there's a published article on universal basic income, and one of the things that caught my eye was it was it's a bill within the Canadian government now that they're trying to push through. It's not only a theory of, oh, we're going to. No, it's actually it's a tangible empirical thing that you could measure. And I think that AI is going to play a huge role in replacing a lot of the benefits for the people. And
I think
why
I
am I
think
bringing up
at this point
AI?
anybody seeing anything other than UBI is going to it's not a question of will it happen, it's when it's going to happen.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We're hoping that there's going to be job availability and the nature that I mean Rav's theory that the job market reflects directly and correlates recursively with the stock market and economic good times, right? It's been a solid thesis. But I think within the current, from the current perspective, we're entering a new age,
Hmm.
and the title that the head of the World Economic Forum suggested in his book, "The Fourth Industrial Revolution," I think is something that the viewer would be keen on. I think you guys should be reading this book, understanding what the highly influential are planning for our future. One of the subtopics, if I'm going to brush over really quickly,
Hmm.
and then Rab, you take it away, is transhumanism. Elon Musk's Neuralink is something that they've mentioned in that book, and I think that reading that book would better inform you of what's to come. So I definitely think that on the short term, obviously Neuralink and AI is not going to instantly take the jobs, but I'm I'm speculating the future of that. I'm hoping that there's that what Rav suggests is more in line with short term, but within the long term, I think AI will take those jobs.
Yeah, well, it's very hard to argue that, especially if AGI occurs, that humans will be better at any job, right? And once humanoid robots come, after the first couple of designs, they'll probably be pretty solid. Like the question is like phones. Phones went from doing absolutely nothing to now controlling every aspect of our entire lives, our work, our home life, right? Like back in the day, they didn't do anything. And so I think robots will be the same thing, right? You'll see Apple iRobot 1. It's so garbage. Everybody knows the flaws. 2 comes out, less garbage. 3 comes out, now it's literally doing 90% of your things. 4 comes out, you're like, yeah. I left the kids at home with the robot nanny. Yeah, right?
Mhm.
And so it's
I love that notion, yeah, but
yeah, it's
I,
it's
I
it's yeah.
yeah, I think it'll be faster.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't
Oh,
think it'll
well,
be like Colonel
I was
BlackBerry.
talking about humanoid robots, right? I was talking about humanoid robots, right?
Yeah,
Like it's gonna
you're
take a
saying
while
visual
for people to
versus
trust humanoid robots, right? Like everybody,
oh,
like yeah, like if you have a kid and you can have a robot nanny versus a regular nanny, you're like, yo, what if the Wi-Fi turns off and my kid's dying and nobody feeds my kid? Do you know what I'm saying? Like those hiccups are still there, right? And like even
holy
with
shit! Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yeah.
yeah, because I see it way with like Teslas and everything and Waymos. Like majority of these cars are very very good at driving. Like they're better than 99% of humans. It's literally proven at this point. But you've seen them
What?
do some fun, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, they're better
Yeah,
they're better drivers than any human ever. And so, but
that's a statistic. Wow,
it's
like
statistically,
99.
yeah, they've done over 1 million trips on Waymo. How many have you heard that went bad?
I've never did know this.
Exactly, they've done over 1 million trips already.
Yeah.
And it's just a trial phase period, right? So it's not even the best it could be. But I've also seen a lot of videos of Waymo doing funny stuff. They haven't killed anybody yet, from what I know. But I've seen some funny videos where they stop to drop off a passenger in the middle of a of a
Intersection.
intersection. Exactly. So they've done funny stuff. I've seen cops pull over Waymo cars. But then remember, I don't know if you've seen the video. A lot of people complain that Waymo cars at night just start beeping. So like they're in a parking lot and sometimes they get
See
stuck.
videos.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you have that as
And
well.
BYD, just to add this while we're still on the topic,
Yeah.
there's a car. I saw a video of BYD car. I don't mean to bash them. and it's just in a parking lot, empty car, and going circles,
Yeah,
circles, like
because
really quick.
exactly right. Because these have to rely on a cellular service, right? And if
Mm.
we know anything, cellular services can
Cellular.
be hacked. Exactly. Yeah, they have to rely on a
Yeah.
cellular service because they use GPS, right? They need some sort of service in order to operate this car correctly. Correct.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
hacking is always an issue. What like raw? We think about
Internet.
outages,
You talk about
like
internet connectivity, the connection, the quality, right?
yeah, exactly.
Internet connection.
But
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
think of it like this: in 2025, how many outages has Calgary had? In not just Calgary, but the rest of the world. Like, how often is it that, oh, we have to do a service repair, so there's going to be an outage? How many times did Rogers go out in the last 3 years, right? Even Shaw
Infrastructure,
and Bell, like
infrastructure.
every place has had short bursts of
Yeah, yeah,
outages, right? The last thing you want
yeah,
to do
yeah.
is be on a car that's driving 150, 100 kilometers an hour, and then all of a sudden you lose connection, and now the car doesn't know where the fuck to go, right? Now,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they have
exactly.
their fail safes, right? But what if fail safes fail? Like it happens, right? You probably also heard a while ago.
My best guess is that's also, I'm not sure. Large language models and AI. Is it? My question would be, the only way what I can see is to fix this problem is to have a way to function without the internet, right?
Yeah,
So
correct.
I could download on my PC a large language model that can still function.
Correct. But then let me ask you a question. You can do that, but you still need some sort of service for it to connect to. It might not need to connect to a mainframe, but you still need Wi-Fi. You still need something because
I'm talking about failsafe.
yeah.
So
Phil, you could, right? In theoretically in a
right,
car, like our cars right now are really good. If you have lane departure, like I don't know if anybody's used it, or adaptive cruise control, you literally can sit like
yeah,
this in
yeah.
your car, and your car drives itself. I have a Toyota Crown, and literally you can just put your uh, foot to the pedal. But the question is, at what point do you feel comfortable enough to let go of that pedal? If you're
I
going,
really like what you bring up,
yeah,
and I think what's really relevant is there's a newspaper article way in the back. So what I mean, what I'm trying to frame here is that in the past, historically, uh, stuff like this rhymes. I'm going to give you what I'm trying to bring up something that rhymes. When the electrical grid was being set up, people were afraid, and the paintings, the artists on the newspaper suggested that people are going to die left, right, and center.
yeah,
Fires are going to be everywhere. But the reality of it is that humans are actually lagging when it comes to this future efficiency, and their negative perception is a hindrance on innovation and
hmm
forward moving.
hmm
It was a newspaper when the
and
the
I agreed with you, right? Like, but like, do you remember?
yeah,
I don't remember if you remember exactly. I'm trying to think of
yeah.
a certain event that happened. It was just in my mind. I just forgot exactly what I was gonna say. But oh, iPhones. There was a it was a long time ago. I think this was like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. But there was an iPhone glitch where you could self accept your own FaceTime link to somebody, so you could see through their camera, even if they didn't
Oh
accept.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Apple patched it out like this. But how many people actually used that before it happened, right? And so, as long
Mm.
as it's technology, it's hackable. If it's a physical hard drive, it's hackable. If it's a cellular hard drive, then signals can be interrupted. Like military uses this all the time, right? Like, what are you gonna have sonar in every car, right? And so, like that's the issue, right? Because I'm not going to be trusting a car to drive me everywhere, right? Like I really am excited
Yeah.
about self-driving cars because you know how much work you can get done. If it takes you 30 minutes to go to work and 30 minutes to come back, that's a whole hour. Now you can be working, you can be doing whatever you want, playing PS5 if you want in the car, rather than finally playing GTA when it comes out, rather than
Time money value. Time money value.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for it, but the problem is the safety aspect is amazing, right? And let's just say the car itself doesn't have any flaws. But what if somebody on the road has flaws? Like you have you ever done those questions when you were a kid where it's like, oh, would you run over one older
Yeah.
person or run
Yeah.
over two kids?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love these
What I
conversations.
want to know, what is the actual fail safe for the car, right? Like if a car is here and another car hits you and there's a kid there, do you stop the car? Like, but what if you
Nice.
can't stop the car, right? Like, do you have to hit
Yeah.
the kids or do you put
Yeah.
yourself in the barrier to not kill the kids, right? Like, I
So
want to
think
know.
about this. We think in 3D. We
Uh-huh.
think in the third
Yeah,
dimension.
because that's hard question for
Quantum,
even if I
quantum
ask you, that's a hard
computing.
question for you to answer, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
now you're putting
exactly.
your
I
putting
want to
the
bring up.
choice in the AI, so that's even
I
harder
love what you're
question.
saying.
Yeah.
I think I'm cutting you off, and I'm gonna say the same thing you're gonna say.
hmm
So I'll let you finish. I'm
No,
gonna
no, no.
let
I
you.
want
Yeah.
to hear what you say. I'm just giving you random ideas that are popping in my head.
I love what you mentioned. And the third dimension and the fourth dimension, quantum and so quantum computing is basically the binary of zeros and ones goes away. How computers synthesize information is binary, and it becomes multiple vector, not just two vector,
Yes.
0, 1. And so with that kind of math, you're sharper when it comes to probabilistic analysis.
Hmm.
You're able to like you're able to predict with accuracy that the human mind kind of is limited on.
Yeah.
I mean, the human mind is not limited in the sense that if they went out and learned these quants in quant finance,
Yeah. Yeah.
they use probabilistic mathematical theories,
Mm-hmm.
and their brain can synthesize. I'm not saying the human mind is limited. Some highly educated people can think within these parameters of probability,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes them a lot longer because they have to do the math and they use calculators. But this AI automatically does it, so it probabilistically understand that if A, B, and C, and I kill the kid, kill the grandma, and kill
Yourself.
like yeah, it'll be able to quantify everything
Yeah.
in a
But then here's another question
highly,
that I'm just thinking on the top of my
highly
head.
accurate manner.
What if your car accidentally does something wrong and it kills somebody, right? Do you want to be liable for that, right? Like who's
I
liable
will,
for
yeah,
that?
I will.
Because
That's a good
right
the company.
now I'll
The
tell
company,
you, but
the
it's
data
your
center.
property. You don't have to use auto. Like right now, I'll tell you something. Okay, there was a case. This happened in the USA. No BS. This is a real case. So, I saw the video. All right, a girl was test driving her Tesla auto park. Okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't Tesla. Sorry, I think it was a Ford. I think it was a Ford. Obviously, Ford is funny enough, but it was auto parking in a position. It was about to go in the middle. Okay, auto parking. It went too fast, hit the other car behind him. So Ford, she had on video that Ford's auto parking was doing it. But even in the auto part, it's not liable. So she has to pay out of pocket, even though she's not the one who did it. It
Makes
was a
sense.
robot.
I think that from my interpretation, she should not be liable.
Yeah.
But obviously, within the
But like
binding contract,
here's the question. Here's the question. What if
the end
she
user
what
agreement,
if the
Rav is correct.
yeah, but what if the
You're correct.
reason was that here's the question for you. What if the reason is road debris? Like what if the sensor got covered by dirt or by mud
Yeah.
and that's why it hit like how can that be the fault of the company when you
So
didn't
when
clean it? But what if you cleaned it and then
R&D, I think the company's still liable
Uh-huh.
because the company. I think here's the thing.
Yeah, I
If
think
the
when it gets to
company
personal
suggests
protection,
within their binding contract, if the company suggests within their binding contract that you must use this with careful, like within understanding that this is a prototype, I don't think it should even be released if there's going to be a higher
but
frequency of
that's why you need an
problems.
R&D, right? You have to
Yeah.
do like Waymo's had 1,000,000 rides and now it's the best driver in the world because it's done more drives than the days you've been alive
But
times the
what's
days you've been
scary?
alive again.
What's scary is that AI not only so like you hire someone, they'll do the work, and they'll have this continuous bottleneck throughout every process.
Mhm.
AI has a self-observing aspect that it could recursively understand its mistakes. So as the rides increase, they're getting data, they're getting a lot more information.
Yeah.
The LLM is learning, and the capacity is infinite.
Yeah,
And so, like under
I'm gonna
that
tell
use
you
case,
exactly how many rides.
it
'Cause I know
makes sense
Waymo
to
has the
me.
most. How
It would make
many
sense to me that
rides?
99% is the number that quantifies how much better AI is at driving. That's interesting. Isn't that freaky? The
Bro,
concept that
10
it
million
learns.
paid rides. It's done over 10 million.
You know who Doom is?
Yeah,
Doom.
it's a character, right? The guy
From
with
what I
gun?
remember, yeah, he's Fantastic Four. He's like the enemy or something, or was
Uh-huh.
it different? Yeah, but anyways, this guy, one of his key, superpowers is that he can learn your fighting strategy within seconds.
Oh yeah?
So I think AI is kind of like that, where it learns its mistakes very quickly, unless it glitches out. But like, isn't that interesting? The idea that they could continually learn how to better drive through,
Yeah. From all I can see is it's saying roughly it's like 99 it's like 99 times better than a human at driving. But again,
99 times.
yeah,
So
it's
what
way better.
percent? Not 99%.
Yeah. There's this
99
one
times is
video
what
I saw.
percentage?
There's this one video I
If you were to
saw
convert the
where
percentage to
but you remember how I
uh,
asked you it's gonna ask you like a Tesla like a car that's auto by itself. Yeah, remember how I asked you the hard question? Who does it kill? If it had to kill somebody, there was a video of a Tesla. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm gonna send it to you. All right, because I want you to watch it. The Tesla, pretty much the girl's on the she's walking on the pathway and another girl trips her by accident. All right, the girl falls in front of the Tesla. The Tesla moved out so fast, but crashed
I saw that video.
yeah, but didn't kill the girl But no human could have done that. It was so fast. It was literally milliseconds. No human could have done that. But
That's
now,
way
now
smarter.
you're,
Is it not? Yeah.
yeah. But now
You're
you
right.
crashed the car. So whose fault is it, right? Because if you hit her, it wouldn't have been your fault anyway. Obviously, thank God she's not hurt. But if you hit her, but it was because she literally fell on your car as you were literally about to drive by.
You know what that highlights?
What?
It highlights how humans create laws within the third dimensional understanding, not the probabilistic understanding. So, what you just highlighted is that humans would have probably killed her by accident.
Oh,
I hope
I
not.
don't think any human could have avoided that. It was so fast, bro. I don't know if
Yeah,
you have
it's
to go
like
rewatch it.
tiny millisecond.
It was literally the car driving. The girl literally, it's right.
It's not an argument.
Yeah,
That's not an argument because the reaction time as you age becomes slow, and AI is like that quick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um,
But then again,
but
now it's your
the
fault.
laws that govern,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
like the laws that govern liability are at question.
hmm
And I think the laws are a reflection of the society's consensus. So what do I mean by that? Like society comes and creates these ideas that this, and this is bad, and so we're going to create law that reflects that, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're saying the car crashes, it's still your fault, but you saved a life. Makes
Yes.
no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it doesn't make sense is because society does not work on quantum computing standards.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't match AI. It cannot. So I don't know. And this brings kind of an interesting subtopic. Maybe you could expand on this. There is an AI person in government, in one of the governments in Europe. I forget which government, but they did. You remember that? You see that? It's a lady. It's an AI politician,
I'm not too
and she
sure.
had like, and she had 84 kids. Well, we will maybe I
Okay,
thought for another time.
yeah.
But if the viewers interested, search up AI in politics. There is one government that is beyond, is the furthest ahead in this context, and they're the only ones to employ AI as a politician, which is
Okay,
interesting, right? Because
but yeah, very interesting. It's such a good question, right? Like we could talk about this for
what do you think?
hours and then figure out exactly what the
Yeah,
hell we're gonna
that's
do.
true.
It's so confusing on what the actual, like, what would be your solution, right? Because then you're like, oh no, I want the car to kill somebody so that I don't have to pay the insurance, right? Because it's still your fault because it's not the other person's fault. And how are you gonna sue a random pedestrian? I mean, you could sue them, but I don't know if you'd win anything because auto insurance won't be involved if you're walking on the street, right? So it's just a question. Maybe you need life insurance, right? Like like that's the only insurance I can think
It's
about.
not there. Exactly. It's not there, right?
Yeah.
There's no answer. There's no actual tangible answer
But
within
I
or
don't even
within
think
itself.
Waymo tells. Like I don't think anybody's asked the right question. Like whose life is the most valuable? Is it the AI it's the person who's driving the car, who the AI is
Mhm,
supposed to protect? Is it the
mhm.
pedestrian? Is it the person in the next car? Like what is the rank of priority, right? Like I want to know what that is. But even
I
like
know.
there's Mini Coopers right now that are.
I want you to
I
think
don't
it.
know if you've
Yeah,
driven a new Mini Cooper, but let me tell you this one thing.
I
So
want you to think before we leave this. I really like what you said.
yeah. So the Mini
To
Cooper.
continue on
Oh,
that first
so yeah, continue.
afterwards, I want you to. So there's two movies that are made by there's Avengers movie. You know Thanos,
Yeah.
or he has the gauntlet and he snaps half
Snap.
the world dies. So there's that idea of is it better to kill half people to make the there's a thesis in there,
Yes.
right? If you could deduce, and there's another one. It's one Voltron, I think. Not Voltron. Fuck.
You're talking about
Sorry.
Ultron.
Ultron, Ultron is another. It's like But anyways, Ultron is basically he's like, I actually know better, and we're gonna kill everything for the betterness. You know what I mean? Like
hmm
AI takes control, and but these narratives
Thank
are
you.
like
Sorry, I just got some
they're.
coffee.
I don't think they're logical, right? I don't
Uh
think
huh.
that they're logical. You're giving consciousness when you come up with the idea to like you're giving consciousness to the AI. AI does
hmm
not have consciousness.
hmm
So for it to make decisions of killing people, I don't know. I don't think that's tangible. But
Yeah,
what do you
well,
think?
I guess it's like 2 + 2 is 4, right? Like this would be logical, right? But again, what is the
Uh,
logic? I want
You
because
kill the grandma? You kill the grandma crossing the street, or do you kill the kid crossing the
yeah,
street?
you have no choice, right?
Thanos is not going to think about it. He's going to be like, "You go,
You know,
both of you."
yeah, it's a very good question. I was gonna tell you about the Mini Cooper. So I drove a
Yeah,
new
go
Mini
ahead.
Cooper. I got a chance to. It's very nice, by the way. But it has auto self parking as well. So you could put in a parking lot and it will go to a parking slot. It will by itself do it. It's that advanced. I tested it out. But my foot is so hard on that brake because because it moves quick. right? So I'm like, yo, man, if this hits on the back, I'm still liable. I don't want to pay for it, right? So I don't trust it. Now, obviously, if it's doing it right, like 20 out of 40 times, no, sorry, 20 or 20 times, then
That's
maybe
a
I'll,
horrible rate. That's a
yeah.
horrible
But if
rate.
it does it
Sorry,
20
go.
out of 20 times, then I'd put my foot off, right? But from what I saw, it's not anywhere near ready. Like, for example, if the lines are just like a little bit dusted, my
I
apologies.
hate to be OCD,
Yeah.
but 20 times is not enough of a data set to
I,
use.
exactly. And
Because
I don't think so either.
what if that 21st time?
But
Just kidding.
but I'm telling you, man, it performed horrible. Like it when it parked amazing. But man, if there's a little bit of distance with the light line, there's this, it wasn't functioning at all. It was just going in circles, right?
Whose fault is that? Humans. There's probably a dude who parked on the yellow line. His wheels are like dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then nothing is truly self-drive. But then you remember Elon. Elon wants to bring out cars that have no steering wheel anyway. So you have no choice anyway. But then how does it maneuver that?
I'll tell you what. I think you need to understand the problem at hand from a comprehensive, big
Hmm.
lens, big picture. And these billionaires that choose everything for us have highlighted this in the book. And read the book, Fourth Industrial Revolution. Talk about 15-minute cities where you do not need car ownership. You know about
Yeah,
15 minutes?
yeah. I think truth right now. A lot of companies are betting on the fact that nobody will buy cars in the future. That it's literally just going to be a ride sharing service, but that's self driving
Holy
cars.
shit. So should I just short all the car companies?
well, well, yeah, I think car companies will have a different purpose, right? Like
Yeah,
you're building transportation. But I could see that as well. The problem is here in Calgary where we're staying, we have abundance of parking. All right, even here though, but the parking situation is getting worse, and traffic situation gets a lot worse too. But do you know in mega cities, Toronto, everybody hates parking. In what about UK in London? Man, I'll tell you, if it takes you 15 minutes to get to a location, you're going to be spending another 15 minutes there trying to find parking, or you're going to park 6 blocks away.
so what's the answer?
The answer is just not having cars. But here's the question: at what moment in time, like let's say we get bring a UBI, right? How much of that money do you want to spend towards buying a fancy car, right?
None of it.
Probably none of it. And so at some point in time where you'll be like, and eventually it'll be cheaper, right? Because if you don't have to buy insurance, it's gonna be at what point does $1,000 a month that we would have spent on your car insurance plus your car, right? That's on average about $1,000 insurance, everything together. Now, how much are you gonna? What at what point in time will that be? Like it will cost 800 for ride sharing services the entire month versus that, right? There's still a while to go for that, right? Like it's still expensive. But and then the other question I have is, how long do we have until governments decide to shut down cars that you drive manually? Right? Like eventually, I'm very sure they'll get to a point where they're like, oh, the system works so well if everybody is in a
Yes.
correlated car, because then every
Yeah.
car knows where every car is, and then it's easy to go, no traffic issue. But as soon as you have one manual car doing one random shit, it changes everything for the AI, right? And so, at what
I
point
love to hear
does that happen,
bringing
right?
up.
And that's probably like
I want-
decades away. But AI
Yeah,
came a lot faster than we
you bring
initiated.
up so many. You bring up so much.
Yeah, this is the Waymo podcast today, guys. This is just. But one other thing I wanted to mention. I thought of this yesterday. When I was in elementary school, okay, we were first put on the topic of what are computers, and we had really good teachers. But you know what my teacher said? No computer is ever smarter than the human brain, and long after you're dead, that's finally when a computer is going to be smarter than a human. Buddy, my teacher was hundreds of years off. Hundreds of years. My teacher was so off that it's just so funny. Less than 15 years after she said that, where she said it was going to be hundreds of years till a computer is smarter than a human, we're literally on the breaking point of it. So, my teacher was very wrong. But, I guess, like, that's why you can't, that's why, like, these questions are good and you seem like they're so far away. But truly, at what point is it going to be that no one's going to buy cars and that you're not allowed to own a electric car, or you're not allowed to own a car that you have to drive around anyway, just because of safety, right? Because eventually the masses by themselves will like the fact that they're working, like the fact that they have their own chauffeur service there and back. And, the masses will want to make sure that, hey, somebody can't just crash into me, right?
I'm gonna give you my less opinionated. Maybe it is opinion. I'll start off.
I'll say this with one thing, and I'll say proof. When I was a kid, everybody loved manual cars. People said, I don't care about automatic cars. I'm always going to go to manual car. Do you know every single time somebody drives an automatic car when they have a manual car, they're always like, oh, that was so nice. Yeah, but it was. And then ask yourself how many manual cars are there now compared to automatic, right? Like the people who like there's some sports cars and stuff you can still get manual, but very rarely. And most people don't want a manual. Some people do, but it's very, very little, right? Most people who never would have changed from manual because they like to move the transition themselves. They like to do it everything themselves.
Romanticization.
Huh?
Well, and this romanticization is part of the dramatic aspect of the human
I gotta tell you
manifestation.
one more thing. One more
Let me
thing.
go. Let me finish the
Because no,
statement
no,
because it
because
sounds
here,
so
listen to this.
randomly arbitrary.
Okay, listen to this, okay? And then now, but the fact now is, rent cars, right?
Yeah.
I get customers who are triggered because a car doesn't have lane assist, doesn't have adaptive cruise control. Man, it was just a few years ago where I even knew what the hell cruise control was, okay? And now these people, they're like, oh, this doesn't have like a backup camera that can do 360. Bro, I'm like, yo, shut up, man. All right, like, shut up. But people get, like, these are things that people
Yeah,
complain about.
Rav, the reason Rav
They
is saying
do
this
it.
because he
Yeah,
runs a company, and I'm
exactly.
sure if you want,
But yeah. It's one of the companies I run. But what all I'm saying is, man, funny enough, these people before, like you have backup camera. That was rare. All right, now every car has all these features, and if you go any less, people have complaints about them, right? So people may not think that we're gonna go to a utopia where no one's gonna drive themselves. But man, it's there, bro. I'm telling you. 10 years from now, all right.
you see, you're the front line. You're actually addressing people's concerns, and so I think you have a better understanding.
Yeah.
Definitely,
But yeah,
they're reporting to you that it's not okay.
But you know what I would do, like if I was in politicians during this time, like during this period of time in this transaction, like what I would do is,
You're saying like transitory state,
yeah,
or
I would make it that highways have to be done through like to make it safe and no more traffic at all, because you could do that with AI, right? Like that's what Palantir does for all its companies. It just makes it reroute the data faster. It doesn't add any new data, but it just makes everything work way faster and better. And so you can make it that highways can just use full automatic cars, so that nobody has any traffic issues, and then you can have certain streets and certain places where you can drive the cars you like. Because I don't think anybody's gonna be like, oh, I don't like driving a Ferrari. They're gonna like the feeling of driving a Ferrari, right? But it's gonna be like the thing that they do it for show. And so you're like, oh yeah, you have certain places where you can park your cars. You know how like horse racing, 100 years ago, horse or 200, 300 years ago, horses were everywhere.
oh,
Everybody was riding horses. Today, where do you ride your
yeah,
horses? Where do you ride your horses, buddy?
only in the luxury tracks.
Exactly. Only you only drive them in horse parks or stampede grounds and
The
stuff like that.
races,
Exactly.
the
That's what you do.
sometimes they're more symbolic than anything than functional.
And
Yeah.
do you know what Ford said? The guy who made Ford Motors. Okay, this guy said I was trying to tell people about my vision about cars, and then the people who he would tell, he said their response was, "I don't need a fancy machine. I need faster horses." Yeah, buddy.
Wow,
Yeah, that's what.
that's
That's
a
what.
really cool. That's a really cool bar.
Yeah,
He dropped the mic. He dropped the mic.
that's what people were
Repeat
saying
that.
to him.
One more time. One more time.
Okay, so people, what he said, he didn't tell his dream to a lot of people, because anytime he told ideas about what he wanted to do, like create this machine that can drive you, people said, "I don't need a fancy machine that drives me. I need faster horses."
Here's well, that's profound.
Yeah, and let me get the
That,
exact quote, because the quote is deadly, bro. I think of this
but
and
I
I'm like,
understood it. I definitely got the what's the underlying meaning there. Like I that's like, and you really hit the nail on the head with the whole conversation. This actually so it encapsulates the whole combo. Even with the complaints that you mentioned, like doesn't this have automatic lane switches?
okay, yeah. So what are the quotes, exact quotes? Just sorry, I just want to tell you, it's on. It's it's if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said they want faster horses. They don't want machines.
One thing I really wanted to express earlier is the expression, the manifest of the dramatic side of humans, and I feel like within this same idea, it's like I hear the more dramatic, non-logical side,
Hmm.
right? And this was drawn by the artist on the
I think
newspaper
this is one of our
way
best
back.
podcasts, by the way. I think we were so on topic on this. I think we got off topic and then we got onto a topic so hard.
No, this was definitely very centered on. It was very centered. I
Hmm.
like the argument and how it flowed, and I understand.
I just don't see a
What?
place where where what we're saying for the future, this utopia that we're speaking about, doesn't happen
Yeah.
in the direct course of things, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I myself would jump into a car that's way better than me driving. That I don't have to stress about driving at night. I don't have to stress about looking at the lights to turn them off. I don't have to stress if a cop's gonna pull me over because I'm on my phone. I don't have to stress about any of it.
Holy shit! That last one will cop put on your
Hard,
phone.
bro, hard.
That one, that's something to think about. Because
There's
like
this
I'm on
one
my
show
phone.
I really want you to watch. This one show. I forgot what the show's name. Altered Carbon. Have you ever seen Altered Carbon?
No.
Ahmed, you're gonna love this show. If any of the viewership here watches Altered Carbon, man, it's fantastic. First season's amazing. Second season, not good. Don't watch it with your parents. There's a lot of naked scenes in there. Okay, but I'll tell you what the grand scheme of things is. Humans are so advanced now that human consciousness doesn't die. So they put chips in the back of your head, and pretty much when you're about to die, they just take the chips and they can put it into another body, and you're back to chilling. And so rich
That's
people have satellites in their consciousness. So even if you kill them, the satellite just puts it into their next body, and they're chilling. 30 minutes later, they're vibing, they're vibe coding, whatever they want to do. But the show is very utopia faced, right? So they got a
what's
car,
your interpretation on that?
huh?
I've never watched this, but what's your interpretation on this?
So it's just
Is
how
it a good
advanced.
thing or a bad thing?
Yeah. So the consciousness, you could always talk about that, right? But the idea, the reason why I brought up
Yeah.
this version with the show,
The utopia narrative.
exactly, the utopia narrative, right? So like how you said, you'll go on your phone without doing it. Like eventually, all the things that we take for granted today, that like just driving ourselves or whatever we want to do, there'll be so much easier ways to do it that it will just not make sense to do it any other way. That's just what I see.
Mm.
Yeah, so me and you can fight what is it, universal UBI as much as we want because we want meaning in our life in doing this and this, but it's coming.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not fighting it
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah,
But I guess the viewers will be like, damn, what is this shit? Yeah, I get
yeah.
you.
But I still think even if you have UBI, there'll still be innovators, people who still create something.
No, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. But it's gonna be.
During the
That's why you own
like
land, guys. Own land, own a bunch of drones, and own energy. Okay, because guess what needs to power all of this utopia? Energy.
yeah, it's true. Nuke energy is always required for that, and we've talked about this prior, but I don't think we went into depth. One of the things I was going to mention earlier was the dramatic side of humans when it comes to like adopting this stuff and not embracing it. I think that like much like Pravinder just said, like people are going to look at UBI and say resist it, resist it. But why would you? If you're a man sitting, I'm talking from analogy here. You're a man sitting in a river. Would you swim upstream or would you let the current
River
take you?
flow, huh? Bro, some wisdom is being dropped, huh?
Yeah, I think that life that you need to fight, but you need to understand that sometimes the fighting is counterproductive. You got to let things flow. But some things are inevitable, and you have to accept them. And change like this is inevitable.
You
But
know,
what I was trying to say,
if you go to the UK airport, sorry to cut you off, Heathrow. Okay, I was walking to the airport from Heathrow. I saw a janitor. Okay, but then I also saw a
yeah,
machine by itself cleaning the floors.
oh fuck yeah,
They're all over there. They're all over there, right? Like they still have lots, but at some point they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, it cost me 20 cents a day to operate this
why do I
machine
need you? Why do I
versus
need
a
you? Yeah,
hundred dollars a day to operate a person." Yeah, man.
yeah. I think I don't like what the future possesses because in the context of I value the stuff that we're lost. Like we live in the 21st, like the 20th century or
Yeah,
whatever. We
21st
live in
century.
the contemporary, and a lot of the value hierarchies have dissolved. What do I mean by that? One of the things that humans enjoyed prior to this industrialization and capitalist society is highly satiating, um, highly fulfilling things like sharing a meal, like sitting down and sharing a meal together. Like we'd go hunt and get a deer, and we'd have like a mutually agreed upon thing where we would accept to help each other. Like let's say I know how to sew and someone knows how to hunt, or let's say I know how to pick berries and someone knows. We used to fill each other's roles, and there's a real sense of community there and a real bond. But when you put the element of AI into the mix, there's no longer that human interaction, the consciousness of the shared experience of sharing and the tribal instinct kind of dies. I don't like that because you're bringing up like let's just fire the guy,
Uh-huh.
the janitor. Well, you're taking away the beauty that exists within like the natural occurrence of You know what I mean? Like
No, I
within
understand.
your own family, within your own family. You know what I mean? Not, and I think that people are kind of limited to that understanding of love should only be for your blood brothers. You know what I mean? And once in a while, you'll meet people like Rav, and will really get you'll find there's a lot of similarness. And what I mean by that is what encapsulates what I'm trying to say better. And I heard this from another podcast. Forget who. He says that um, when you self-associate with somebody else, that's you love some. That's love. When you see something within somebody else that you see in yourself, that is self-association, and
Hmm.
self-association is love. You know what I mean? Like a brotherly thing.
Brother to brother love.
And what I really wanted to mention is this: there's the dramatic expression of humanity when innovation comes, and it's no better uh, represented than by this newspaper where they drew this guy, bro. They drew a guy getting strangled on one of the wires.
Hmm.
So like they set up the electrical system, ref,
Hmm.
and they drew a guy that his neck was wrapped around the thing and he's getting electrocuted. Although like I will say, like in some poor countries, I see some really disturbing videos where they go and try to fix electricity and something goes wrong.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I think that what that represents, that guy getting strangled on the rope,
Hmm.
the electrical wire, is a manifestation of humans and their worries. You know what I mean?
Hmm. All
Like
right.
they're very worried about
Yeah, it's
they're
interesting. My apologies.
really
Sorry,
worried.
I'm getting a random business message, so I was just trying to look at that. But yeah, we had a very good
Yeah,
conversation today. A lot, it entirely turned into cars. So again, really appreciate this, Mohammed. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, guys. All right, same time. Probably not. I don't know when
thanks
we're
for
gonna post
tuning
it.
in, guys. Subscribe to the channel, please. Yeah.
All right, have a great rest of your day, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.